Now I'ma tell you sons of bitches right now, you better head to the hills, you better get your water, you better get your rice and your bullets, cause we're all about to die, not this time.
Just kidding. I'm only kidding, I'm kidding. Okay. This is it. Timewave Zero. And after this, you can't even try to look up anything on this funny little graphic. It won't let you. Okay? Because it is said that this ends on the 21st of December 2012. Okay? So in 9 days time, I will never have to look at this and say, again. Okay? So, here we go. Yada yada, yada yada. Okay, so pretty much sometime last year this damn thing started over again, and they say, you know, we pretty much stuck all human history into the graph again. Okay? Now, interestingly enough, in the last couple of weeks, that is, I've been hearing a lot of stuff about the drones, and it's been really mesmerizing lately. I mean, and then they tell their projections of saying, oh, in 20 years we want to have, you know, a major stake in our military and drone technology, robot technology, and then, you know, it's a lot sooner than that. 2020 is only 8 years away. I think it was 2025, but still, those are smoke screens. I mean, the one I heard back in 2007 about them having the insects type drones. They're all over the place now. I'm not saying I'm seeing them, but, you know, it's in the news all over the place. And, yeah, it's bad. It's bad. As far as the technology goes, it's bad. But what one thing, the Times mechanic, the guy who created this funny little graph, he said, he's dead now. He say nothing except through, you know, the internet and whatnot. I said, hey, it's pretty amazing, because he's still talking. Because I'm still talking about him. You can go, he'll tell you whatever you want to hear, because he said a lot of interviews and stuff. You know what I mean? But anyway, he says that the most novel event in all human history is going to happen on December 21st, 2012. Okay? And novelty being that something that human consciousness has not experienced before. So a new level of experience. Now, which is interesting, because pretty much we have experienced nuclear war, starvation, world war, and, well, anyway, he thought that what it might be is time travel. And his experiment, but his interpretation was that at the moment the damn time machine was created, people wouldn't be able to go back in time. It's a whole nother friggin' story, but that the exact moment the time machine was created, people would start arriving from the future. Which I think, you know, he was a very smart guy, but I think that's the most ignorant freaking thing in the world to say. Because you can look back at all the Hindu texts and everything else. All this technology existed before, but in different, what do you want to call it? Needs. You know what I mean? Like what people's needs were, the direction they took to create them. I mean, all this technology, it was always there. You know what I mean? It's just how they picked it up. Oh, this was all created in under 100 years. Do you understand? I mean, they say you can take all of human history, and more happened in the 1900s than happened in all human history. And everything is happening more in the 2000s more than it happened in the 1900s. So, to say that time travel wasn't possible 5,000 years ago, when all this technology was available then, is extremely ignorant. But if you take the notion of what he was saying, of an extremely novel event involving time, And instead of bringing people from the future, you send them back to the past. And that's very, very simple in this day and age. I mean, think about it. Nobody knows how to hunt. Nobody's got any backbone. Nobody knows, there's too many damn people in concentrated areas. Throw an EMP attack or a Carrington event type of attack where all electronics are screwed, so no transportation by cars. Now, I got that from War of the Worlds movie. I'm guessing that's pretty much true for the cars as well. I don't know what the electronics in those cars to fry, but that could be a very real possibility. I'm sure where there's a will, there's a way. But anyway, I said in the Carrington event, the telegraphs was the only electronic thing at the time in the 1800s. They all caught on fire. That just happened again in Central Texas this last week, and they said it was very dense fog. And that's some strange stuff in itself, among other very, very strange events happening. This country all over the world, the trumpet sounds heard all over the world. You have there's a sinkhole epidemic in this country, all over the country. The booms. Even I'm hearing right now, I didn't hear this boom, but there was a boom. Evidently a flash too, and they still can't figure out what the hell it was. The fish kills, the bird kills, yada, yada, yada. And ironically enough, December 21st is supposed to be the winter solstice. They're saying it's tomorrow. The 13th, we're going back. And I noticed myself that it hasn't gotten as dark early as it should have. So obviously the pole is shifting, and I've heard this from other people too, but this is the first time that I've noticed it. I've heard other people over the course of the last couple of years saying that they've noticed the sun out of whack or where the hell it usually raises. So possibly an EMP attack. I mean, the world is a tinderbox right now. It's supposed to be. I mean, it's been engineered to be a tinderbox. The Carrington event could be real, and that could be. I mean, that could happen any day, and that would be the end of the world. And they say because we're so unprepared, within 14 days, within under, we'd be eating each other. For those who aren't prepared. So that is my final note on this funny little graph. Because starting on the 17th, the 17th would be the resonance with the Hiroshima bombing. But granted, that shit, the same graph went through to last November and then started over again. So there's really no nuclear events last November. So I sure as hell ain't saying it's going to happen. But what is the New World Order? What is it all about? It's here. You cannot deny it. Who talked about it more? What texts talked about it more than any other? And who did they tell you was behind it? And anybody with any logic of what the hell is going on with Fukushima to the ongoing methane problem we have, can tell you that we're basically under an extinction level event as it is. So what is the New World Order? Is it control? Or is it just a giant sacrifice to take as many souls at one time? Because we're all going to die anyway in a short amount of time. Is it just to raise the collective evil to make us kill each other before we die of the naturally occurring causes of our current environments. That's what it is. And my cousin, he explained it to me. I've been trying to explain this shit to him for 6 years. The New World Order. And he explained it to me because he finally understood it from a buddy he knew. You know, he wouldn't take my advice for it. But to somebody that he grew up around, a drug addict. Anyway, once he got clean, you know, he told him what he thought. He came around, and then we started talking about this shit. And what he said was, my cousin, he says, Satan is the pissed off postal employee. He got fired, and he went home, he got his gun, and he's coming back to take out as many people as he possibly can. And that made a lot of sense to me. Because, and I've been thinking about this for years, why the hell do we exist? You know, God knew Satan was going to fall. God knew Lucifer was going to fall. He was one of the cherubim. He was above the angels. He knew he was going to fall. Now, do we replace him? I think. Because it's like almost insignificant, our lives, you know? Through our own experiences, you know, it's everything. It's everything. So look at the size of the planet Earth and compared to the sun. It's minute. It's a speck of dust. And then you look at our sun and compared to the other giant suns in the universe. It's a speck of dust. You take those other giant suns in the universe, they're super red giants, they're a speck of dust to the entire universe. And the violent explosions in space, it's a miracle this planet exists in the harmony that it does. But yet here we are, bitching and complaining. Wonder if your soul means something? It absolutely does. Because what we represent, every ounce of every day, of every thought, of everything we say, only represents a lousy 5% of our conscience. That's it. Our conscience only represents 5% of our brain. But that's the most important part. That's what governs the soul. And how do they manipulate you on TV? Through the subconscious. And the creative subconscious. It's almost like a mind of its own. But the conscience, how you govern your morality, governs the entire other 95% of your brain pattern. When they say the frequencies can combine, that's what they believe in the pantheistic view. And a lot of what I'm hearing, how they're gonna, what I've kind of put together with what they're gonna do with the mark of the beast, because, you know, the pantheistic view, God isn't everything, but your free will is screwing up. Their free will, I don't know if it's their free will or their, I don't know what their view of themselves is, being the elite. I do. They just say, right at the top, they're weak, scared people that don't want to leave their rooms, that take orders from spirits. There's 10 seconds left of this video. Drawing a blank. Till next time, have a candy bar.